Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Andres, and today I'll be telling you about RNTuple and Uproot. So before I begin, I'll mention that these slides that I'll be using is just a Jupyter notebook that you can run on your web browser without installing anything. The link is on the Indico, just in case you wanna like try it out or follow along. Let's see. So today, I'll be mentioning a bit of about RNTuple in case some people are not familiar with it. I'm gonna be mentioning what's the status for reading and writing RNTuples in Uproot. Mention some recent features and developments that we've been working on in Uproot. Show a quick demo for all these things, and also mention some upcoming changes and sort of like future plans that we have for this. So first of all, what is RNTuple and why should we care? So RNTuple is a modern serialization format that is intended to replace TTrees. And the reason for this is that TTrees, I mean, have existed for so long, and at this point, they've kind of become outdated and kind of bloated. The storage is not particularly efficient. For example, everything is still big endian. Nested or jagged collections are kind of a mess. There's a lot of special cases and like hack implementations. And like all of this makes it like really hard to support in Uproot to the point where we really support kind of a small subset of what's possible in T3, like compared to root. And there's even a smaller subset of things that you can write as T3s from Uproot. So the situation is not ideal. But RNTuple is going to bring a lot of improvements. It is very simple and the design is pretty modern. This time there is actually a formal specification, which is really nice, so that if someone else, like a third-party reader like Uproot, wants to implement support for it, they can just look at the specification instead of trying to like guess what root is doing. So that's nice. This time there's a focus on just the native data types, so like everything gets boiled down to just native types instead of trying to like handle uh, more complex types. It has a columnar layout, which is actually very similar to Awkward, and for this reason, we've actually been mirroring things very closely to how Awkward does things. I'll mention a bit more about this later on. The performance is gonna be a lot better, and this time it is also designed for parallelization, so that's nice. And since the design is so simple, we're planning to support basically 100% of like what you can do in RNTuple, you'll be able to do from Uproot. So like you're not gonna need to use root. You can do this directly in Python. Uh, yeah, so it is a nice thing that's coming up. As for the adoption, uh, maybe you missed it, but so here's kind of like a timeline. The work on RNTuple started a few years ago, but earlier this year they actually released the first stable version of the specification, 1.0.0.0. So that means that now you can start writing data in this format, and you can be confident that you'll be able to read it later on. Like now it's stable, so it will be supported basically forever, uh, which is nice. So we've kind of like officially started sort of like the transition period, moving away from TTrees and then moving things into RNTuple. The plan is then when we get to the HL, LHC, everything will be in RNTuple, and the trees will just be a thing of the past. Both CMS and Atlas have already started working on transitioning to RNTuple. I'm mostly involved with the CMS side, so that's where I know how things are. So on CMS, there are branches and special releases that focus on RNTuple development. So if you look at the GitHub repo, there's this underscore RNTuple branches. where like they're like developing all these things and doing all the testing, and then there's releases from those branches. Basically, they're the same thing as the master branch. The difference is that they default to writing most things as an RNTuple instead of as a TTree. In even in the standard branch, there's already a few things about RNTuples. Like, so there's this dash RNTuple out option that is gonna be what like toggles between TTrees and RNTuples. But right now this doesn't work in the master branch because the version of root is not new enough. But you can already start trying things out in these special releases if you want. As for so most of the work has been focused on like higher tier data formats. In the nano IoT side, it's actually been lagging behind a little bit. I've been doing a bit of work to catch up with the rest. And there's actually, like with some talks with the root team, they actually decided to uh, extend the tuple specification to accommodate the dynamic triggers that we have in Nano IoT, where like you can sort of like add uh, trigger bits sort of like later on in the writing process. And what this will allow us to do is to actually organize Nano IoTs in a very nice way. So we'll just be able to have sort of like a trigger field with like about like all the fields, all the flags as sort of like subfields. And same way as the collection of like jets, electrons, and so on. There's gonna be like one collection with all the PT data and so on being subfields. So it's gonna be really nicely organized, and I'm helping a little bit to make this possible and like make sure that it actually happens. Since well, this is one of the nice things that RNTuples will allow, like a nicer organization without losing any performance or anything like that. And then for the Atlas side, not very familiar with that, but from what I can tell, they've actually made more progress, and you can already they've already generated large samples of Quizlite files. You can download some here if you know how to do this. I don't know. I just copy paste the commands, but anyway, I guess you should ask an Atlas person if you're interested about this. Okay, so now looping back into Uproot, what's the current support that we have? So almost since the initial release of the stable version of RNTuple, we have offered 100% reading support for RNTuples. We plan this to continue to be the case. So basically, what you need to take away is that any RNTuple will be readable with Uproot, which is a very different situation to TTrees. We can't read every TTree. And then for writing, there's been basic writing support for a while, but recently we finalized writing support for more special cases. So now any awkward array can be written to an RNTuple. So now we have basically like a two-way 100% support. Any RNTuple can be written into an awkward array, and any awkward array can be written into an RNTuple. Uh, there's some more advanced functionality that we still don't support, but we're planning to work on that. For example, schema extensions where you like start writing somewhere on tuple and then you decide to add extra fields. They will be supported in the future, but not quite yet. So this is kind of like the current Venn diagram of support. So currently we support writing any RNTuple, just like root, but we can write a big section, but not every single thing that you could do with the RNTuple specification. Uh, so now that we have like the both the reading and writing functionality is working pretty well now. The focus is more on like the performance and on helping move away from TTrees and into RNTuples. As for recent things that we've done, so as I mentioned, now you can write 100% of awkward arrays. We reworked the handling of keys in the uproot objects so that there's a direct match between the RNTuple object or field and the arrays that you would get in Accord, which is really nice and it's like very intuitive. Before we had some like extra keys that it was causing a bit of confusion, but now it's really intuitive. Now we have some reading cache. This was implemented. Well, okay, so this is for an upcoming release that will hopefully be out this week, but we'll see. So this reading cache was implemented a bit differently to TTrees. It was at a more granular level, so cache misses are less likely, and in my opinion, hopefully performance will be better. We'll see to do some testing. We improved the show method to better display the structure of RNTuple, so I'll show this in a minute. We also added support for RNTuple viewing in Uproot browser. This was thanks to Henry. So now I just wanted to show you a quick demo of all this functionality. And again, you can follow along if you click on the link in the Indico. So as a quick reminder, you could just install Uproot with people or Conda. In this case, we're gonna be using Jupyter Lite, so we can install it like this. So we can just import Uproot. So here I have an example file. So we're just gonna open the file and print the class names. You'll see that now here we have an RNTuple that is called NTPL. If we can get the NTuple there by using this dictionary-like interface, and then we can use the show method to show what's in the RNTuple. And I guess, and again, this is an improved show method that kind of like shows the structure better. So you can see here that we have this trig field that is a Boolean, this met thing that is a struct that contains a float and two float fields. And then over here we have a vector. We can get the arrays from there just the same way as you would for a TTree. You can see here that we have some arrays. And then the arrays just works in the same way that you would do with a TTree, like it's just an Accord array. So for example, if we want to look at the left PID field, it would be just something like this. And again, the thing to take away is that any data any RNTuple will be able to be read. So for example, if we have something more complex like a slide file, I have I have a small sample here. If we look at the class names, you'll see that there's a bunch of TTrees, but over here down we have some RNTuples. So we're gonna look at the event data RNTuple, and again we're gonna use this show method. You'll see here that this is a pretty complex thing. There's a tons of like vectors and random structs and nested things and a bunch of different things. Okay, sorry, this is kind of freaking out, so maybe let me go into notebook view now. Let's see, there you go. Boy. Yeah, sometimes I have issues with Jupyter Lite. Okay, so open source. Okay, yeah, and again, we can get the arrays using that arrays method. And then for writing things, so again, it just works basically the same way as for TTrees. So here I set up some Accord array with a bunch of different data. You can see that there's like optional types, there's like unions, structures, list of structures. It supports UTF-8, so you could do like emojis or like cursed text or whatever you want. And then the way to create an RNTuple would be using this file that mkrntuple. You put the RNTuple name and then the data. And then just gonna create it over here. We're just gonna open what so okay, if you look over here, you can see that it created this file. Then we can open it and see that it created this RNTuple. Then we can read the data again and see that everything is working. And then as for future plans or kind of like upcoming changes, so in the interest of encouraging this transition to RNTubles, we're changing the dict-like assignment for files within in Uproot. So you might be familiar with writing TTrees, something like this. You specify the file and then the TTree name and then setting it to some data. We started showing this warning stating that in an upcoming version of Uproot, this will change and this will default to writing an RNTuple instead of a TTree. We're planning for this to happen sometime early next year. So there's time for people to migrate. And also to help people migrate, we're starting in this version that will come out very soon. We modified this MK3 function to make it a bit more convenient and it's sort of like a drop-in replacement for this other syntax. So now you'll be able to do .mk3, and then the name of the T-tree, and then just put your data here. So it's going to be a one-line change. Other things that are coming up, there's going to be support for reading data into virtual arrays. That way you can have sort of like a lazy array that only actually reads the data when it needs it, which will be nice. We're just working on a couple small fixes on the awkward side, but it's basically ready. Then we're gonna support RNTuple 1010, which added RNTuple attributes, which is basically user-defined metadata that I'm planning to get this done maybe like a month or so, since I still need to think like what kind of level of support we want for this. We're going to be supporting expressions for data arrays. Currently, we just support like you just pass the names of the fields that you want and that's it. But I've been working on uh, Formulate, which you should see my talk on Wednesday about this. We're planning to use Formulate as the parsing backend so that you can actually use expressions for RNTubles. And we'll just continue to improve functionality and add new features like schema evolution. The goal is to have something like this where we still have 100% support for reading, and then for writing, we basically support as much as it makes sense at the Python level. So the takeaway message is that with the transition to RNTuple as the primary data format, Uproot will actually become even more useful than it already is because there's going to be support for virtually 100% of the RNTuple specification, meaning that you're going to be able to read anything you want and write basically anything you want as well. So you can fully replace root in most cases, well, when it comes to reading and writing. And that's it for me. I'm happy to take any questions.